Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. It's Monday, so it's time for the Academy Show. So, anyone new to the channel? What we do on a Monday is we dedicate a show entirely to the Academy, the West Ham Academy, concentrating on the 18s and 21s, particularly because it's a massive part of what West Ham is. And yes, obviously the first team dominates the headlines, but the academy, particularly, are in a really good vein of form at the moment. So what we do is at Hammer's Headlines, we talk about the players, the first team players who are out on loan. We'll also talk about in here the academy players are out on loan, as well as any news involving the academy, and also a bit of a roundup of the games that were played over the weekend for the 18s and 21s. So there's a lot to get into. So let's crack on, shall we? Let's start with the loans. Let's start with George. George is still out injured. He There was a possibility he might have made the game against Oxford United at Ashton Gate, where they won. Was it 2-1? I think it was 2-1. On my notes, here's my notes. Yep, they won 2-1 at home. He's still sidelined, so no minutes, obviously, for George. Callum had a starting role, not a starring role, because his side lost 3-1 at home to Northampton Town. Cobblers, no, it's true. He played the first 45 minutes in the game before being replaced for the start of the second half. Patrick Kelly was a 90th minute substitute for Doncaster as Grant McCann's side drew 1-1 away to the MK Dons. 90 minutes. What's the fucking point for that? Whereas we've got Michael Forbes wasn't involved in the matchday squad for Bristol Rovers in their 3-2, almost a 3-2 away defeat to Peterborough. He hasn't featured in the league matchday squads since the opening fixture, so not too sure what's going on there with Michael, particularly as Bristol City had a bit of an injury crisis. There was, within them sort of the preview discussions of him actually featuring. So again, not too sure what's happening there, to be honest, peeps. Levi Lang was an unused substitute for Cheltenham Town as they drew 1-1 away to Chesterfield. Christian Heggie was an unused substitute as Motherwell beat Dundee United 2-1 at home in the League Cup quarter-finals. Obviously, he's very much there as their backup choice first team goalkeeper. Mason Terry played the full 90 minutes for Hornchurch as they lost 2-0 at home to Chelmsford United. Sorry, Chelmsford City, my apologies, in the National League South. The only one really who's getting any minutes, to be perfectly honest, out of all of our subs, all of our academy loan signings at the moment. Now, in terms of what's been happening this week, or the weekend just gone, let's start with the 18s. The 18s drew 2-2. They on a 2-2 away draw to West Brom under 18s on Saturday, continuing their undefeated start on the road this season. There's my boy, Edris Golombekis. He was on target again for his side of his third goal in 5 competitive games this season to put the Hammers ahead. Then strikes either side of halftime gave the Baggies the initiative going forward into the final half hour. But a well-worked move finished off by Mauritius full international now, Gabriel Kalista, rescued a point for the under-18s and secured that the West Hammers did not leave West Midlands empty-handed. Again, a very important point for the boys. And what's interesting as well is if you look at the side, including some of the guys that we brought in, David Chigueda came on, Bulligan was playing as well, but it's still a very youthful under-18 side, particularly as a lot of the under-18s who are the top end of the under-18s have moved up to the 21s to accommodate for the 6 or so academy players out on loan. So again, even more impressive, really, when you think about it. Elsewhere, actually, a side note. Let's do a side note. We obviously played Leicester City last week in a draw, 1-1 draw. And what was quite interesting was West Ham had a trialist in that, an Arsenal trialist in the face of Reece Clement. and it's been hinted that he could be set for a transfer to West Ham. He came off the bench within the first 37 minutes. West Ham has played part of a trial for that day, but he's since returned back to training with Arsenal. At this stage, it's hard to say whether or not Clement will end up back at West Ham. It's not uncommon, obviously, for youth team players to go out on multiple trials when they're searching for a new club, particularly coming into contracts or whatnot. He's made 3 appearances for Arsenal under 18 so far this season, all 3 being substitute appearances. He joined Arsenal as a 13-year-old kid, supported the club as a child, apparently. He's part of the scholarship, Arsenal scholarship in 2023, meaning that he's now in the final year of that deal. So now 17, he's eligible for a professional contract, and he's been given, and he has been for the last 9 months, apparently, but he hasn't signed one yet, suggesting that an exit is growing increasingly likely. A similar path that young Lewis Brown, obviously Kenny Brown's son, had at Arsenal, was at Arsenal for many years, and when it came push to shove in terms of offering a professional contract, they didn't offer him one. And so now he's obviously playing for the academy at West Ham. And so similarly, obviously, maybe he's said, reaches a good play, you should check him out, that type of thing. And so interesting to see that we're forever continuing to improve our recruitment with the academy and bringing in young players who almost sometimes a second chance. And we'll keep an eye for Reece, see what happens. Let's talk about the 21s. The 21s have made it 4 out of 4 wins in the PL2 so far this season. They kept it late on the weekend, but a 1-0 victory away to Newcastle United was their rewards. They made hard work of it, and Newcastle are a good under-21 side, but a fantastic winner from Cam Schweier. About 10 minutes from the end was a hard-fought 3 points. And it was on a plate, not necessarily on a plate, he had a lot to do, Cam, to be honest, but a phenomenal through ball from young Lewis Orford. And he still had a lot to do, but great composure. And it was the only goal of the game. We almost doubled our lead late on with Ollie Scarl's curling free kick. But despite that, we clung to the 3 points to move to the top of the Premier League 2 table. Next up, for the under-21s, it's a double home week. But Tuesday is going to be at Chigwell Construction Centre, Dagenham Redbridge, their ground, where they host Benfica in the Premier League International Cup. And then on Friday, they're back to Rush Green, back to Rusty B on the 1s and 2s, as they take on Chelsea under-21s at Rush Green. Now, what's interesting, last time we played the under-21s, Chelsea under-21s, I remember last year, obviously they've got so many bloody players, Chelsea, that a couple of them actually, of their big signings, including David Washington, who I think cost about 15 million quid, he was playing. So it's worth getting down to Rush Green on Friday if you can. Or even also Dagenham and Redbridge, seeing a really good Benfica side. What's going to be quite interesting as well is obviously the first team play obviously Liverpool on the Wednesday away from home. So maybe if there's any academy inclusions into that side, they won't feature obviously the game on Tuesday. So it could give us a bit of a precursor in terms of whether the likes of Ollie Scarls gets minutes, against Liverpool. Probably not, but you never know. So keep an eye out on the team sheet for that. But if you can get down to Tuesday, or if not, if you can get down to Friday, please do. It's great to support the boys. Fantastic group of lads, and it's a 100% record. Where the first team have got the worst home start ever in our 125-year history. The under-21s of 100%, 4 out of 4 wins. Phenomenal performance so far from Mark Robson's boys. And that's it, my friends. Thanks very much for your continued patronage of the channel. We never take it for granted. We appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the shares, all the memberships, all that type of stuff. And as always, we're bringing you lots and lots. Tomorrow, we'll have, I'd imagine, a lot of the preview stuff ready for Wednesday for the Carabao Cup match against Liverpool. My birthday. Wednesday's my birthday. I don't know if I mentioned that. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Lovely birthday present if we get through to the next round. Much love. Bye-bye.